Josh Heupel's football staff is whole again. Brent Hubbs here on this Friday, Tennessee announcing the hire of Alec Abeln, or the promotion of Alec Abeln. Abe, as known to those in the building, has been a part of the staff the last couple of years, has been with Josh Heupel and Glenn Ellerbe for some time. He played for them at Missouri. Um, very much a hire of comfortability as far as knowing the offense. When talking about why Tennessee decided to make Alec Abeln its tight ends coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a hire of comfort, and I think we've seen Josh Heupel with two offensive hires. He stayed within the framework of his offensive system and promoting both times with Kelsey Pope a year ago, and now with Alec Abeln this time. I think that Josh Heupel is very protective of his offense, and he was looking for a seamless transition offensively on the field, and that's ultimately why they ended up landing where they are with Alec Abeln getting the promotion. There's plenty of questions about it, Austin. Why did it take 2 months to get to this decision? And then there's questions about, Ablin's ability to recruit because he hasn't recruited before. So there's plenty of questions surrounding why the hire was made, but the reason why the hire was made is a seamless transition for the offense on the field.
Yeah, 100%. And the truth is like you just don't know. You can't judge Alec Abeln on recruiting because you can't say he's a bad recruiter. You can't say he's going to be a good recruiter. No one knows. He's never done it before, And I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a learning curve. He does have some, people in the building that will be able to, show him the ropes. Now I've talked to, multiple people that are with the program or have no longer with the program, but have been around Alec Abeln. They do talk about how smart he is, how much he will, be able to transition really well to all of the on the field stuff. That he knows the offense inside and out. That like on the field, coaching tight ends, coaching blocking, especially as an old offensive lineman for Glenn Ellerbe, he will be a seamless transition. Now, again, the biggest question mark is going to come in the world of recruiting. He knows that. Josh Heupel knows that. The question is what does it look like 2-3 years from now? Because you're not going to know until then.
No, the learning curve in recruiting in this conference is steep. Okay, I think Kelsey Pope's still going through the learning curve.
Sure he is.
That doesn't mean that he's incapable of recruiting or he's a bad recruiter or anything like that. It's just you've got to learn how to recruit, and you got to understand that it's different in the South. And these two aren't the only ones that experienced that. I remember having conversations with Justin Wilcox, who was a proven commodity as a coach and even as a recruiter on the West Coast. His transition to recruiting in the South was mind-blowing to him, Austin. I mean, he was dumbfounded by the intensity of recruiting in the South and had a hard time with it early on.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a natural learning curve there. And I think for Alec Abeln, it's a steep learning curve because he's never been on the road. He's never been in a home recruiting. His only experience in recruiting is his personal experience of being recruited. And so that's going to be a steep learning curve, and we'll see how that goes. And people are going to wonder, why didn't Josh Heupel put him on the road this past month? I don't have an answer for that. I don't know why they went with Max Thurman instead of getting Alec Abeln out there and establishing some relationships. But that's the direction Josh Heupel elected to go in January, and the direction he's electing to go with his staff is to promote a former player of his, and Alec Abeln, to his first coaching position, a full-time on-field position at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, I think that the biggest question I have out of any of this, I get you want to go with a seamless transition, someone who knows the offense, someone who and trust. But to me, there's no excuse why he shouldn't have been on the road. Like you could give me an excuse. I ain't gonna believe it. Like I don't understand it. No one understands it. If this is the direction you were going to go, and I totally understand that's the direction you want to go. Like there's a lot of promotions inside college football. Clemson's done it a bunch. Now, Clemson also has had to, go outside its circle with its new OC hire. So I don't think you can do it every time. Michigan just did this. Ohio State just did this, promoting from within. But if you know you're going this route, or even if you think you're going this route, why not go ahead and try to set him up to do a little on-the-job training and recruiting in the month of January? Let him get his feet wet. Now, the first time he goes out will be May. Like that part of it's a head scratcher to me. It doesn't matter what excuse is given.
Yeah.
I just want to understand it. And again, I understand the promotion part of this. I totally get it. I understand it. But like that part of it, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Nothing will make sense of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, the two things, again, from the side that you understand is exactly what you're saying. It's within the framework of the offense.
Yeah.
He knows the offense inside and out because he played in this offense, right? I
Sure.
mean, he directed this offense at the line of scrimmage when he was at Missouri. So he knows it. He was with them at South Florida or at Central Florida, went with Jeff Lebby. I mean, he understands everything about the up-tempo part and everything that you're trying to do offensively in this system. But the two things that I think people are wondering about is, one, why did you wait 2 months to make the move? Okay, if you were going to promote in December and make your seamless transition just be your seamless transition.
Yeah.
And two, why not put him on the road in January and let him establish some relationships and get his feet wet? And I don't know the answer to either one of those, but Josh Heupel's staff is complete. With an offensive staff that he's made it very clear to the two hires, what's important to him, and that's continuity within his system. And that's why we've seen two promotions on the offensive side of the ball. And now we'll see what that looks like on the practice field in spring. And then all eyes will be on how Alec Abeln establishes relationships in May and starts to build his ability to recruit.
Yeah, and recruiting is important. I get the hire. I hope Alec hits the ground running, listens to Rodney Garner and Brian Jean-Marie and some of these guys that are veterans on the recruiting trail and picks it up, real quick. But to me, you cannot get lost in how important recruiting is. Everybody's going to say NIL isn't it's a big part of recruiting, but you still have to have relationships. You still have to recruit. It's not just as simple as, recruit finds out his NIL opportunities at said school and goes there, because there are plenty of kids all over college football that, probably passed on, bigger opportunities that didn't go to those schools that offered them. And so in my mind, you still have to be able to recruit, and you just hope, if you're Josh Heupel and if you're Alec Abeln, that there's a quicker learning curve on this and he can kind of hit the ground running and go. Again, it's all about personality, and then, first and foremost, learning how to do it. But if you have a hunger to recruit and you have a personality that connects, you can be a good recruiter, whether you've been on the road or not. It's just about learning the tricks to the trade.
Yeah, and again, it's a tough learning ground. It's a tough playground to learn in because of how intense that it is. And you're right about the NIL thing. I mean, so many of these situations, the NIL opportunities presented are going to be a similar financial type number, right? Yep. And so what does it get back to? It gets back to old school recruiting. Who do I have the best relationship with? Where can I go and better myself on the field? Where am I most comfortable? Where's the family atmosphere? The idea that you're just going to go out and buy a football team is just a complete and utter misnomer in the world of NIL. And I understand why that idea is out there, that thought process is out there. But we're seeing it this year. I think you're going to see it. We've talked about it, Austin. The pendulum is going to swing back more towards the middle. And it's going to get back to guys are going to go to campuses for a reason beyond just what their bank account's going to look like after they're there a year or two.
That's right. Alec Abeln hits the ground running in the month of February. That's more of a build-up month, spending time with your staff, getting ready for spring practice. Hit spring practice next month, and then after spring practice, we'll hit the road recruiting for the first time, as Tennessee's tight ends coach. Alec Abeln promoted to tight ends coach here in early February.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the video here at Volquest on YouTube, the leading source of University of Tennessee football, basketball, and recruiting. Be sure to check out our latest video right here and our latest live show right above it. All that at Volquest.com and Volquest on YouTube.